Welcome to the How Good Is It? We're going to take a look at the Valentine's version for Sudachi and maybe something else. Now, in case you don't quite remember what regular Sudachi was like, well, she was a defensive void type character that excelled at getting hit in the face, and then by getting hit generated so much MP that she would then use surprise magias and even doppels, specifically in ranked mirrors, to create a lot of bonus points for using magias and doppels. And this Sudachi right here, how does she compare? Let's find out. So she has some discs, but let's be honest, her discs actually don't really matter much, and we'll see why. Well, I guess I kind of already told you that she generates most of what she does by getting hit. So that's kind of the most important part. She wants to take hits to the face, and then other people can take discs. Now, her personal gives her, most importantly, 10% MP gain up, but it gives some damage cut as well. Overall, we have seen some pretty good personals lately. This is maybe not one of the greatest personals out there compared to some of the last ones we've seen, but it's still a pretty decent one if you don't have any really great MP up Memoria, because getting a bunch of MP up is actually pretty nice on her, and we'll see why as well in a second. Her stats are incredibly defensive, as you would guess, and she might even be the #1 most defensive character in the game right now. And even her connect is entirely defensive, but as I just mentioned, you probably don't really want to take her discs anyway, because she gets most of her MP, if not all of her MP, by getting hit. So why would you make her take discs if you can have other people take discs that want to get MP through Excel discs, or that want to just deal damage with their own discs? Because this Sudachi is not going to deal any damage. She like tickles enemies a little bit, so really no reason to get discs, and her connect is kind of terrible as well because it's completely defensive. No reason to get it. So yeah. Next up we have the Magia, or more specifically the Doppel. Now it does actually deal damage, which usually isn't that big of a deal with like 99.9% of characters, but the 0.1% of other characters, well, it's Mitama and it's normal Sudachi, because normal Sudachi does not actually deal that much damage with her Doppel. It does like only 100%, 200% or something. Only like a really low number. Specifically, normal Sudachi deals like no damage with her Doppel and Magia, but this Sudachi actually does deal damage with her Magia, so keep that in mind that she does actually deal damage, which might actually be bad for ranked mirrors if you want to just throw out multiple Doppels or a Doppel and a connect or something like that. And with normal Sudachi, because the Doppel doesn't deal that much damage, you can actually throw up the Doppel and it doesn't kill the enemies, and then you can just do more stuff afterwards. I know there's a strategy where the 6-hit strategy where you actually make it deal damage, but that's a different one. Just saying that in theory you now can't really play that strategy anymore, where you just make sure enemies survive a Doppel like that. So that's something to keep in mind. More importantly though, for her gameplay, she gives all allies 12,000 damage barrier, which is kind of a lot. It also heals all allies. That's actually pretty good for ranked mirrors, because you get more points the higher your HP is at the end of the battle. It provokes to you for 2 turns. Great. We know that she's incredibly defensive, so her provoking for 2 turns, that's actually pretty darn good. But most importantly, it gives MP up and damage to all allies, so not just to hers, to all allies. So for the turn where you use this Doppel, whenever anyone on your team gets hit, they get a bonus 10 MP on top of what they would usually get when they get hit, which is actually quite a lot. Let's say, for example, an enemy Kimochi blasts your team 3 times, okay? And with each of those blasts, they hit 3 characters. That's 30, 60, 90 total bonus MP that you've now generated by using this Doppel, which is not as much as other characters that have like MP restore Doppels or something like that, but it's a nice little bonus to have, right? Is that actually going to be enough of a bonus to make her weasel her way into some Kimochi teams? Maybe not. I think people were hoping that this was going to be a 2-turn effect when she was first revealed, because if this was actually a 2-turn effect, this would she probably would have found her way into a few Kimochi teams where having an effect like this is really nice. But with it lasting only 1 turn, maybe she finds herself in some Kimochi teams, maybe not. It's kind of up in the air. Don't ask me for these kind of strategies, just saying that it could theoretically be possible. Let's go to the Spirit Enhancement though, and we see a lot more defensive stuff. Defense up, max HP, just defense up. We have damage cut, but also dark attack, dark attribute damage cut, and light attribute damage cut, so even more damage cut against the only elements that matter, because who the fuck cares about the other 3 months? Come on. She also regenerates MP, like all kinds of defensive stuff, everything that you can imagine. This is actually rather different from normal Sudachi, who instead of these kinds of effects has more MP generation effect. Like normal Sudachi, for example, has a ton of, or like multiple end or added nodes like MP up when damaged. But she also, and this is the most crucial part, starts the battle with 25% MP start for some fucking reason, which is an insane amount. And then she also has like 27.5% MP up. Just passively 27.5% MP up, an absolutely insane amount. How much does this Sudachi have for MP up? 0. Actually 0. So normal Sudachi does not only start the battle with 25% MP already up, she also gains 27.5% more MP than this Sudachi. So we can already tell that this Sudachi generates MP a lot slower than the other Sudachi. Keep that in mind. The personal can help out a little bit with 10% MP up, but it's just 10%. Like I said, passively just through SE, normal Sudachi has 27.5% while also starting the battle with 25% bar full. Insane. But this is the thing with Valentine Sudachi. Look at this amount of defense and damage cut against specific elements even. That's actually kind of insane. And then you put her active on top of that, which provokes to herself, just like normal Sudachi, but also gives barrier and heals herself. So she puts herself basically on 4 HP, because you're probably going to use this a little either in the middle or at the start of a battle. And they give herself a barrier, and if you're at full HP with this heal, which shoutouts to self-synergy, if she's taking a bit of damage, she puts herself to full HP, and because she gets defense up at max HP, she now has so much defense that this barrier is going to last a long time. 15,000 is going to be a long time barrier. Sadly, it only lasts for 1 turn, so after 1 turn the barrier is going to drop off. But still, that's a lot of defense that you're putting on a single character, basically making your entire team invulnerable unless they get blasted. But yeah, she protects the team even more so than normal Sudachi does, but on the flip side, she doesn't get to double just as fast. What does all of this mean? Well, if you want to have a character that tanks for your team and does a really good job at that, right now you can't get that much better than this Valentine Sudachi. You could argue that maybe there's like Surface Psycho, I think, might be also a pretty good choice for that, or just generally look at the list of characters that have provoke, and yeah, maybe some other characters have been more provoke uptime, like I think, is it Haruka? Not Haruka. This one has a really, like a low range character that has a really high provoke uptime. But yeah, keep in mind she gets 2 turns of provoke whenever she uses a doppel, and because she gets MP up when damaged, together with her normal MP up when damage that she already has, she can get back to doppel really fast. On top of that, and she regenerates a little bit of MP. It's not that much, but a little bit of MP on top of that. So once she starts doppling, she can probably keep doppling over and over and have maybe even a close to 100% uptime on her doppel. And because her doppel also gives barrier and heals herself, she's going to be triggering this defense up at max HP bonus all the time. She's going to be so incredibly defensive that your entire team is basically unkillable, right? How do you die when you can spam doppel that heals and barriers and provokes and gives you the MP to doppel again, while at the same time having so much defense that even the highest attack enemies will just tickle you? So yeah, it's kind of crazy. But as I mentioned in many other videos, you don't really need tanks in this game, like, at all. There's like not really any game mode where tanks are like great. And if you're like, oh, but I'm struggling with 100 evils or EX, you could get a tank, or you could just deal more damage, and dealing more damage is usually more effective because you're not sitting there for 500 turns. You just end the battle in 10 turns, like a 100 evils battle. Or if you're going into a tough witch battle on the X domination battles, getting more damage is also usually more effective because, once again, you don't have to sit there for 500 turns trying to slowly push out the enemy, doing like 100 damage every turn. You just kill the enemy in 3 turns and that's it. So investing into tanks is kind of pointless. Now, of course, this is different than in Rank Mirrors, where specifically normal Sudachi gets really fast doppel and really fast Magia by getting hit. But the thing is, the reason why that's powerful is not because she's a tank, but because she generates fast MP. She could be a support, even an attacker for all it matters. If with this exact spirit enhancement that normal Sudachi has, she was going to excel at that role anyway. Her being a tank is just a little bit of a bonus that doesn't really matter, okay? So because tanks really still don't fucking matter at all, Valentine Sudachi is probably not as useful as a normal Sudachi. I mean, because she might have some way of helping the team in Kimochi, but she doesn't do as well as normal Sudachi in ranked mirrors, and you don't really need tanks in the game. That's just she's extremely cute, and because of how cute she is, you probably want to roll for her anyway. Let's talk about her gacha. It also has this Memoria right here, which also, just like Sudachi, Valentine Sudachi, way too defensive. Look at how much defense you're getting out of this Memoria. It's absolutely fucking insane. Defense up at max HP with regenerate HP, meaning it's easier to stay at full HP, because when you drop from full HP, you can get right back to it with the regenerate HP. Really nice bonus to synergize with itself. And now it's time for a bonus, Kuro! And it's the new Kuro, it's the white Kuro. So we had Kuro before, but that was a black Kuro, but that was a different Kuro. This is a new Kuro, the white Kuro. This is a completely different character. It might seem like, oh, this is just the same character in a different outfit. Completely different character, new original character idea, do not steal. This also has nothing to do with the character of Kuro. I mean, like, they're friends, but this is not Kuro either. So you can kind of see in the, that they had to specifically add bonus information to this character page to tell people like, yeah, come on, these are three completely separate characters that just happen to have almost the exact same name, okay? And two of them only have their first name, one of them only has their last name. Don't worry, Shay, I got you. But what does she actually do? What does this Kuro actually do? And does she help Kuro out? The answer is yes. But this Kuro, if you remember the original Kuro, you might think that, oh, does she exist to just die? And is she useless otherwise? Well, in a sense, she does die for your enjoyment, for your amusement. But if you do want to keep her alive, she can actually be pretty darn useful. Why? Because, well, first off, she has a personal, as you might expect, and this personal is actually pretty darn good. It gives MP gain up to the entire party, and active Memoria that give an effect to the entire party are actually pretty darn good, because there's barely any in the entire game. There's like maybe 3 or 4 Memoria in the entire game that give a beneficial effect to the entire party. Okay? Maybe there's more... There might be more personals out there that do that, but the point is there's not that many in the game, so getting something, especially with an effect as important as MP gain up, pretty darn good. That said, it's only 7.5%, so it's not going to change the world, but it is just great. It's got some nice effect on there. More importantly though, you take a look at her connect, it restores MP, it gives XL MP gain up, it does extra MP restore to Kuro. So yes, of course, she helps out her girlfriend, she helps out Kuro, even though Kuro is too... she's spending too much time to be sad instead of appreciating the fact that she has a girlfriend helping her out. That's just Kuro alive, okay? But yeah, she gets bonus MP from that, so like 37.5 MP from this connect on top of the MP bonuses that you might get, and then you also get 20% XL MP gain up, and if you connect and XL disc, so much MP, oh my god. So she actually has a really nice connect already. She's looking pretty darn good. You're doing well. Kuro2, I'm just gonna call it Kuro2. Magia, oh look at that, it actually gives a lot of XL MP gain up and a lot of MP gain up to the entire team. Now 5% might not look like that much, but keep in mind that it scales with Magia level, of course. So at Magia level 5, this will actually be 15% MP gain up, and 15% MP gain up is actually quite a lot. That's a decent amount. That's quite a lot for 2 turns, and on top of that you get 25% XL MP gain up for another 3 turns. That's actually quite good. That's actually a pretty darn good fucking bonus, especially because, and like, hear me out, you put her on your team together with Kuro. It has to be normal Kuro to trigger this effect. I think swimsuit Kuro does not get this bonus. It has to be normal Kuro, I think. You put her on the team with Kuro, you use this Magia first to get everyone 15% MP gain up, and then you use Kuro Magia, or Doppel rather, it has to be Doppel, because Kuro Doppel gives the entire team MP, and this MP restored to the entire team gets buffed with the MP gain up. And then you can use the personal beforehand as well, and you get another 7.5% up, and suddenly your Kuro Doppel buffs the entire team, or like restores the entire team's MP by like 60, 70 or whatever fucking crazy number of MP, and it's absolutely insane. So Kuro2 is actually pretty darn good while she's still alive. That said, you can still keep her at level 1, just bring her into the battle, make her use her personal, and then kill her, because at the end of the day, she's Kuro. And the fate of all Kuro is to die horribly. What about her spear enhancement? She can restore MP to herself to get herself to Magia faster, and her actual passive notes are like the most boring passive notes that I've probably ever seen on any character, because they're a grand load of fucking nothing. So yeah, they exist, but they're basically nothing. You can sort of ignore all of these notes that they don't even exist. But yeah, MP restore to self to kickstart Magia stuff, do connect with Kuro, do MP restore goodness. So overall, if you play this Kuro together with other MP restore characters, she's actually pretty darn good. Or you keep a level 1 and kill her off after she uses her active. That was that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So share button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.